This piece is completely unrehearsed, and I'm going to look at it like, I guess, a poetry reading, perhaps. That's what I'm feeling. So, the piece is called Story of My Life. Chapter 1. I come into existence, and I'm happy. The world is peaceful. I'm a handful. I'm full of energy. Can't stop me. Cried a lot, but only briefly, according to my mom. I'd have quick bursts, and then I'd be happy, happy, happy. I was really hungry. Hungry baby. I learned that life was happy. Life's good, and I had really good role models. A happy mom, a happy dad, and an older brother who bossed me around and stuff, but I loved him. Chapter 2 of my life. I find passion. I'm an athlete. I'm a hockey player. I'm really good at it. I'm good at hockey. I'm pretty much obsessed with it. I realize that I'm good at other sports. I get addicted to more sports. Still happy. Still happy. Now I'm realizing the things that I love, and I'm totally focused on the things that I love. Chapter 3 of my life. I realize that I'm not a good student. I'm not smart. I don't get good grades. I'm classified as not intelligent. I'm still happy. I don't mind. I don't mind that I'm not intelligent, because I know that I'm happy and I'm passionate and I love my sports. So I don't listen good when I'm in class. I don't like being told what to do. And I just do what I want to do all the time. And I get classified further as not a good student. Don't know how to listen. Chapter 4 of my life. I discover dancing. I become a breakdancer. I discover movement. I realize, I guess that's my first activity that's within just solo. You don't need to, non-organized, completely autonomous, independent, individual. Fully expressed. Other people like it when I do it. Validation happens. I know how to get validation. Learn how to get validation. Chapter 5 of my life. I discover skateboarding. The best years of my life. I find a partner in crime, my skateboarding brother. Still love him to this day. He's still living the dream, literally engulfed in the passion. In my parents' eyes, he's a failure. I learn not to follow my passion. Following your passion is unsuccessful. It's not practical to follow your passion. It's more practical to get yourself set up for the future. Chapter 6 of my life. I graduate high school and I go into construction. It's not what I want. I don't like it. I'm not happy doing it. I decide to follow my mom's advice and I go back to school. to get an education and to become successful. Chapter 7 of my life. I have a breakthrough in beliefs. I discover the nature of beliefs. I discover a passion for business. I discover an interest, more so, that I think will lead me towards a passion. I am terrified because in business, you have to take calculus in order to get into the school, to get into the program in university. So I'm terrified because I'm not intelligent. I commit myself to focus extra hard. I'll have to study twice as hard as the average person because I'm not intelligent. I discover the math community who's going to help me and guide me. I start going to the math hall. It was called the Mace Hall at the time. So there I am. If the average person needs to do 3 hours of study, I'll do 6. So I give myself the space to do the required work for someone of my intelligence level. I make some friends in the Mace Hall, and soon enough, other members in the classroom start seeing me in the Mace Hall. And they start asking me questions about mathematics. I start to realize that I have all the answers to the questions, because I'm always at the math hall. I must be the guy who knows the answers. Later that year, I get a letter. My mom actually gets a letter home to our house. I have the highest grade in calculus. I learn that beliefs are made up. One of the first big insights of my life. Beliefs aren't real. They self-fulfill. I think I'm on chapter 7. What chapter am I on, everyone?
8.
Chapter 8 of my life. I fall in love. It's the best. Falling in love's the best. The best. So I'm in love. I feel directed. I'm no longer not intelligent. I'm now able to do... Now I'm smart. Now I'm smart and I'm in love. So, now that I'm smart and in love, I go on that journey. And I start creating a future in my mind. What will I do with these new skills, this new belief? Chapter 9 of my life. 8 years go by, and my partner leaves me, and I go through my first heartbreak. I'm broken, and I'm lost, and the skill that I thought would guide me to the great life actually becomes, I resent it. I resent it. So I'm lost, no direction, and I'm heartbroken. Chapter 10 of my life. I meet my first teacher. Didn't come in the form of a human. Came in the form of a plant. A little mushroom plant. A friend of mine introduces me and makes the introduction. And I go into darkness. I go into the darkness. This is the most difficult period of my life. Chapter 11 of my life. have another insight. I realize I'm not who I thought I was. I'm not Brad the way that I thought. And I panic. And I'm alone panicking. So I'm feeling pretty lost and alone and scared. But I'm still me. I'm still there. But the paradigm shifts. The whole system breaks down that I learned in the previous 28 years. Full breakdown. A really important question emerges. One of the most important questions that I've come to find is one of the great questions. Who am I? If I am not Brad, who am I? And that really led me on a long journey that is still in movement. Probably always will be. Who am I? I feel like that was the start. It's almost like the beginning of the journey. And there's like a drive, there's like questions, like the passion is coming back, the presence of life is coming back. In my business life, it was always future. This pulled me back to presence, and I decide to start the next chapter of my life. Chapter 12? Right, chapter 12?
Yeah.
Chapter 12. I discover passion again. I realize life's not horrible and you don't have to live in the darkness. And I discover rock climbing. I make a conscious decision to go back to my roots, back to the body, back to the expression, back to... But it's not really back, it's more like forward or somewhere or here or now or something like that. So I return back to me, following my heart, back to my heart. Chapter 13 of my life, I fall in love again. Far sooner than I wanted to. I wasn't. That's the thing, is once you're in your joy and you're positive and you're living your purpose and you're living in your gifts, good things just come your way. So you can't really... It is how it is. I'm not ready though. I don't think I'm ready. It's me time, I thought, right? I discover Lish. Or she discovers me, or something like that. And funny enough, we discover each other through dance. My old ally. My old friend. So that was really nice. And that was the person that... She was the person I needed to meet. That's who I needed. I didn't know it at the time, but I needed her. I still need her. Chapter 14 of my life. I go to Peru and I meet some of the greatest teachers. I'm introduced to ayahuasca, the Great Spirit. I'm introduced to San Pedro, or Wachuma. It's the plant of presence. I meet Don Howard. I didn't know men like this existed. I had no idea that there were sages in the world. It's like, it feels like you think it's just like something that happened in the old days, or like it's not like something that's still going on. But I realized like there's magic. Like this is Hogwarts. Like it's a magic school of like, and this guy is the warden, just full of love and compassion, just like emitting wisdom through just beingness. And I didn't know that there was... And I have another insight. It's like, if he's here, there's more of them. It means there's more of them. But I also realized that that's what I want to do with my life, is focus it on love and compassion and deepening and depth and purpose and all of it on this, doing this stuff. Chapter 16. 15? 15. We're on chapter 15. Wow. And I'm only in the 30s. This is going to be like a 100-page book. That's like a year per chapter or something, eh? It's like they break it into 12 months periods. Chapter 16? 15? 15.
Sure.
Chapter 15, we'll go with that, or we'll repeat it. Chapter 15, I find conflict in myself. I'm having trouble to integrate spiritual life with reality. I'm finding a conflict. I can't. Certain things are spiritual and certain things are not, and I can't balance it. I'm in an internal conflict. Chapter 16. I meet Master Chen, and he assertively explains to me my deficiencies and my life gifts and my life purpose, and in detail just tells me the way the universe works, in a very startling way. And through all of that, there's a lot of sub-chapters, but we come to now, and again, the world is back to being perfect. And there's integration. There's a lot more room to hold all of it. It took years to try and hold it all, to integrate. And I'm now here with all of you, practicing integration on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. Letting information flow through me and not trying to hold any of it. Just watching it all go on. And I enter now the chapter of my life right now. It's the chapter of community. Very important chapter. We learn a lot in community. There's a time for learning on your own. There's a time from learning from others. There's time for teaching others. And then there's time to learn in community. I think those are the 4 branches. And I'm really grateful to be here. And the story goes on. It's a big book. It's a big book. Thank you for listening. Story of my life.